You talked about, I agree with you, about contracts enriching private contractors at public expense. Does Elon Musk have any contracts with the Department of Education?
Listen, first of all, I just
It's a simple question, please. This is my time. I have 38 seconds, please,
Well,
Madam
I don't
Secretary.
know if he does or not.
You don't know if Elon Musk has any contracts in your department, and you've met with him multiple times?
Elon Musk doesn't have contracts in my department,
So Department of Education, there are no contracts with any Elon Musk company. That's what I'm asking.
not to my knowledge.
Okay. All right. You want to check a blue card real quick, or are you pretty sure of that?
I said not to my knowledge.
Okay.
If I find out differently, I'll be happy to get back to you.
All right. And just in the last few seconds I have, just real quick on private schools getting public dollars, just so you know, something like 3/4 of the students that wind up going into those schools already attend those schools. And they're
Mark
getting
Pocan wasn't expecting that answer. In a tense exchange that spiraled from staffing chaos to Elon Musk's shadow influence, Pocan pressed Secretary Linda McMahon on who is really running the Department of Education, and her responses left him visibly stunned. What unfolded next pulled back the curtain on confusion, contradictions, and a power dynamic few expected to hear spoken aloud in a congressional hearing.
May I
Thank you,
just-
Madam Secretary. No, I think it's my question time, if I can.
I thought I had a few
They'll
more
start the
seconds.
clock. I just don't want to lose my clock.
Oh,
And if we could do short-term answers rather than long-term ones too, that'd be helpful, just because I got a lot I'd like to talk about. Let's talk about
some
waste,
need
fraud, and abuse a
explanation.
little more, about Doge. So you fired 1,300 people. Another 600 people took Elon Musk's deferred resignation offer. Did you fire the people, or did Doge fire the people? I'm not completely clear on that.
Most, excuse me, most of that restructuring happened under the acting.
Short-term, did you fire, or did Doge fire?
Well, I'm going to tell you who I fired.
I know, but that's why I'm trying to get short-term
So
questions.
the
It's
short
one or
term
the
answer-
other,
well,
right?
you're using our time.
Yeah.
So most of that was done before I came on board. However, the
Doge-
decisions in the department I run the department. Doge does not run the
Okay,
department.
so you didn't answer the question. Did you fire them, or did Doge? It's real simple.
A good majority of that happened before I came on board.
Okay, and by a good majority, 2/3, 3/4?
But yes, I'd say.
Okay, fair, okay. And how many times did you meet with Elon Musk
I've
about
met
firing?
with Mr. Musk probably 3 to 4 times now,
Okay,
not including when I was on the transition committee and had several opportunities to speak with him.
sure. And then if I understand it right, on your Department of Education employee roster, you have right now at least is about 16 Doge employees, is that correct right now, working with you?
I can get back to you to the exact number. I don't think it's that high, but we
Okay.
do have, they are employees. Those that we have are employees of the federal
And
government.
when you did their background checks to see how they're qualified about education, how many had undergraduate degrees and how many had graduate degrees in
I
education?
can get back to you on that.
Okay, so you don't know offhand?
No,
Did you ask that question?
no.
No, okay. Did you ask if any of them were teachers previously?
I did not interview those people that are part of the
Okay.
Doge group.
And did you ask if any of them worked in schools? Did you know if they were
Actually, I had a
asked?
conversation with one of them yesterday who did have a background in education, technology education, and had worked across several different aspects and was really schooling me a little bit on some of the AI things that we could bring in.
So one of them had a good background, good. Any of them work in universities that you know of prior?
I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough. So part of my concern is, I know yesterday there was this big splash, Elon Musk is stepping back. We call that horse hockey where I come from, right? We know it's not real. He's in the back closet. I understand you guys don't want his, front and center, but he's still in the room. And he's still making a lot of these decisions. And that's the real problem that I have is, you've got a bunch of folks that he brought in that you've admitted you didn't hire, you don't know their backgrounds if they have anything in education, yet they're helping you fire half of your employees right now. And I'm really concerned about that. Do you know if any of them have requested or gained access to any sensitive data held by the department, including student loan borrower data?
Well, as government employees now, they have been vetted through the same process than any other government employee would. And so what access would be granted to other government employees, they
Okay,
have.
that's fine. And then, do you know the number of people that you've had to reinstate of those fired?
It's about 74.
About 74. So how did that happen? Because, I've been an employer for 37 years. The dumbest thing I could possibly do is fire someone just to rehire them, right? Because you've given them no job security. It's like beyond stupid, right? Not saying that because you didn't do it. Clearly, it sounds like this is from Elon Musk. But how did that happen, that people got fired and no one thought of you might need them? in the department?
Some of that did happen when I returned.
Okay.
Now, I was in the private sector. I have done restructuring in firms, and it's painful to do that.
Yeah, but
And
fire people
wait,
to
no,
rehire them?
well, here's the thing.
Like, usually that's not a strategy.
When
right?
you are restructuring in a company, you hope that you're just cutting fat. Sometimes you cut a little in the muscle, and you realize it as you're continuing with your programs, and you can bring people back to do that.
Yeah,
So
or
that's
you
what
can
we
plan
did.
ahead and not fire people to rehire them, right? That would be another strategy that I think is more often used. Would you agree?
Well, I'm saying that I have been on both sides of that coin, and I found them both to be effective.
Okay, interesting. We have a different perspective on that, but maybe the world of all-star wrestling is different than my world of business to business. You talked about, and I agree with you, about contracts enriching private contractors at public expense. Does Elon Musk have any contracts with the Department of Education?
First of all, I just
It's a simple question, please. This is my time. I have 38 seconds, please,
Well,
Madam
I don't know
Secretary.
if he does or not.
You don't know if Elon Musk has any contracts in your department, and you've met with him multiple times?
Elon Musk doesn't have contracts in my department.
So Department of Education, there are no contracts with any Elon Musk company. That's what I'm asking.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. All right. You want to check a blue card real quick, or are you pretty sure of that?
I said not to my knowledge.
Okay.
If I find out differently, I'll be happy to get back to you.
All right. And just in the last few seconds I have, just real quick on private schools getting public dollars, just so you know, something like 3/4 of the students that wind up going into those schools already attend those schools, and they're getting tax money. So if we get rid of the Department of Education, should we put the private voucher program under Ways and Means, because it's really more of a tax benefit than an education benefit?
Well, I'm happy to get back to you on that as to how we restructure the Department of Education going forward and how those programs are handled.
Great. Appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Secretary.
You're welcome.
When Representative Mark Pocan began his questioning, you could feel the urgency in his voice. He wasn't wasting a second, and he made that clear from the start. The Department of Education, according to him, was undergoing a massive restructuring, shaping the future of millions of students. Yet the answers he received almost immediately hinted at something deeper, something unsettling. He begins with the basics. Who fired the 1,300 employees? Then another 600 who took what Pocan calls Elon Musk's deferred resignation offer. But instead of a clear, straightforward answer, McMahon drifts into long explanations, prompting Pocan to intervene again and again, trying to keep the clock from evaporating. Viewers could feel the tension, a simple yes or no, yet it wasn't coming. McMahon finally admits most of the firings happened before she arrived, but when Pocan pushes for a number, 2/3, 3/4, she cautiously agrees. Even then, clarity comes only after repeated pressure. And then comes the pivot point, Elon Musk. How many times has she met with him? 3 to 4 times, she says. And that's not even counting transition meetings. That alone raises eyebrows, because it sets the tone for what Pocan is truly probing, just how much influence Musk and his inner circle have inside the Department of Education. Then Pocan drops the number, 16 Doge employees currently working inside the department. 16. But when he asks the most basic questions, did they study education? Were they teachers? Did they work in schools? McMahon repeatedly says, I don't know. I can get back to you. I didn't interview them. Imagine that. A core group of people embedded inside a federal agency overseeing the education of tens of millions, yet the secretary herself can't confirm whether they have any educational background. Pocan even pinpoints the irony. She only learned that one person had a relevant background yesterday. And that leads to his frustration. These Musk-linked hires, whom she didn't select, didn't vet, and didn't question, have been helping purge half the department's workforce. That's not a small oversight. That's structural power. Then comes maybe the most stunning moment of the exchange. Pocan asks how many fired employees have already been reinstated. McMahon, about 74. He calls it straight. In business, firing people only to rehire them is beyond stupid. No strategic value, no foresight, just chaos. And he even points out, with cutting sarcasm, that maybe the world of all-star wrestling operates differently than the real world of business management. But the exchange's sharpest point arrives at the end. Pocan asks the simplest, cleanest question of the entire hearing. Does Elon Musk or any of his companies have contracts with the Department of Education? McMahon, not to my knowledge. Pocan immediately pushes. Are you sure? Want to double check? Her answer doesn't become clearer, and that's the entire problem. After all the meetings, all the embedded hires, all the restructuring, and all the confusion, the Secretary of Education can't definitively say whether one of the most influential businessmen in America has contracts with her department. It's that lack of certainty, that absence of command, that leaves Pocan and viewers alike unsettled. And in his final seconds, Pocan raises a bigger issue. If private schools are receiving public dollars through vouchers, and most of those students already attended private schools, is this even an education program anymore? Or is it essentially a tax benefit? Should it be handled by Ways and Means instead? Those are the kinds of structural questions that shape entire policy debates. And yet, once again, the answer was, I'll get back to you. This exchange wasn't about partisan theater. It was about competence, clarity, and control, and what happens when one of the most powerful agencies in government can't fully answer who is making decisions inside its own walls. This hearing leaves us with a question worth asking. Who is actually steering the ship at the Department of Education? And how much influence should unelected, unvetted private actors have over public policy? What do you think? Did Pocan expose something bigger here, or was this simply bureaucratic disorganization? Let me know your thoughts below. I read every comment. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss our next deep dive.